Solving for India is a very unique problem from the rest of the world. We have a fantastically rich and diverse culture in the country. We have, over 600 dialects that are spoken, multiple cultures that are maintained. But for scientists and researchers, that makes our job extremely difficult. India's AI Impact Summit 2026 sets the foundation for India's leadership on the global stage of AI. Hello everyone, I'm Raoul Nanavati. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Navana.ai. My brother and I co-founded this company in 2018 with the mission to make digital services accessible to the next billion user market. Jay and I came from an MBA in Cornell Tech in 2017 to 18, and we returned immediately to India to solve for this specific problem in India, which is making digital services accessible to all users around the country. During that time frame, India was able to access smartphones and mobile data, but were restricted by the user interfaces that were on these phones, designed by the West, English-focused, text-based. This was a big blocker for the country and its users. Jay and I spent the first year of the company traveling across the country, trying to understand how we can build an interface that could be used by all of India. I want to share one moment with you that really built my conviction in this mission and really dedicated myself and my life to solving for this problem. We were traveling to Chikbalapur and working on a prototype of an application for a bank. And we reached Chikbalapur and met with one of the banking customers. This was a completely illiterate female customer of the bank, and we had taken the existing mobile banking application to understand whether she would be able to access this application. And upon giving her the application and asking her to independently register on the app, she took the phone from me, looked at it, looked at me, looked back at the phone, looked at me, and then handed the application right back. Now, we had built out a different version of this app that actually had a voice interface on it that could speak in Kannada and guide this user. And this was our very first early version of this prototype. Again, this was in 2019. And she took the phone from me. I gave her the same prompt, please register yourself onto this application. She looked at the phone, looked at me, looked at the phone, and suddenly the app started speaking to her in Kannada and pointing at things on the screen and giving her some guidance into the application. And now the app had her full attention, and she was listening, understanding, feeling confident, and making her way through the entire registration. And she completed that entire registration because of the help of the voice assistant on the app in her language and with guidance. It was this moment that showed me the power of technology that is built for our own people and is built in a way that is inclusive and gives the power and agency to someone in a rural area that is completely illiterate, does not speak Hindi or English, and is now able to use technology. Now, solving for India is a very unique problem from the rest of the world. We have a fantastically rich and diverse culture in the country. We have, over 600 dialects that are spoken, multiple cultures that are maintained. When building for technology at a research level and at a core model and infrastructure level, you need to be able to solve for the complexity of our own nation. And usually solving a scientific problem means that you have a very clear problem statement and you have the ability to actually define the types of languages that you are actually solving for. Now, a very unique thing in India is that the languages that we speak are not actually number of languages and defined to specific populations and people. If you are to think about the way we speak in India, I like to think about it more as a spectrum of languages rather than a unique set of languages in the country. The way to think about this is if you travel from the south to the north, you see this beautiful blend of languages and dialects meld into each other. As you reach closer to a border state, you would see, two languages from a beautiful dialect. But for scientists and researchers, that makes our job extremely difficult because we're unable to identify exactly what language is being spoken where, and really caused us to rethink from the ground up really what does it mean to define a specific language and dialect. We spent 4 months working with researchers, scholars, professors, all on this very specific subject on the dialects of India, and concluded at the end of 4 months that there is no way to actually create a glossary of dialects for the country, which requires a completely different way of thinking, even from a research level, on how to build for the multilingual diversity of the country. So we actually have built out models that are able to recognize languages across a region rather than a specific language like Kannada or Malayalam or Tamil or Telugu. And that is something that I would share with all of you, that as we are building technology for India, we must look at our own best practices and our own ways of solving for our country and our specific needs. The other aspect of this is India has not been on the internet for 30 years like the West has. Right? We've had the raw materials of AI is data. And in the US, in Europe, in the first world, uh, they have all been on the internet for 30 years, generating data just as a result of having used the technology or the internet. Being able to use the internet by giving in voice commands, generating search results in all of these languages, English, German, French, there is a wide variety of data that can be scraped and used for AI models. That has given those countries a large advantage in terms of being able to get a head start on AI technologies and building there. India has not, right? We do not have Bhojpuri speakers who have been on the internet for 30 years generating data that can be used to create AI models that are accurate for all of these specific languages. So it requires us as an ecosystem, researchers, builders, and investors to focus on creating this data set and to be able to create the AI models that are needed for the country and to be looked at from a completely different lens to solve for our very unique challenges. And we have unique structural advantages as a country to solve for this. We have the talent in the country to be able to build, research, and create these technologies. We have digital public infrastructure available to us to pay at scale, work at scale, and reach every part of the country to enable this type of work. This actually sets us onto a fantastic path to build for our own sovereign AI and models and demonstrate leadership from the global south on how AI should be built and deployed at scale. We're already seeing a lot of work being done in this space from the private domain as well as the public domain. We're already seeing now at the Global AI Summit that India is a leader in the space and is holding the narrative on where AI should be going. India's AI Impact Summit 2026 sets the foundation for India's leadership on the global stage of AI. So the Scientific Development Chakra is the continuous loop between research, industry, and public policy. Navana has been at the center of this as its own microcosm over the last 7 years, demonstrating that you need to start from research, demonstrate this in enterprises, and demonstrate this in outcomes so that it can actually work towards something, and also it be couched by public policy so that it is adopted at scale. Navana's worked with ISC Bangalore to create open source initiatives like the Respin project, work at the framework level on technology, open sourcing models such that the ecosystem can build, and then deploying this in a full stack manner within enterprises. And finally, working with the government to ensure that policy is being developed such that these technologies can be deployed in a responsible manner. Now, this continuous loop is already happening, but it does need to be scaled significantly, and the loop needs to be moving faster and faster, such that microcosms such as Navana and many others are able to scale this in a way where it enables the technology and development for the country in an accelerated pace. The three sutras, people, planet, and progress, is the guide for us to move forward and build technology in a way that it can be accelerated responsibly with the associated guardrails and thinking necessary. And I think this is a perfect encapsulation of how we all should be thinking about building as we move forward, keeping people in mind. So ensuring that these systems are there to serve the people, right? Ensuring that they are inclusive, ensuring that it is equitable, and delivering value to everybody in a safe way with safeguards and guardrails along with off-ramps of its effects. For planet, as we know, AI can be extremely energy intensive. So focusing on areas where the planet is being kept in mind and AI is being built and deployed in a sustainable manner. And finally, on progress, as the technology advances, we need to ensure that we're seeing equitable progress across the country, that the value of this technology is being shared with everybody and every citizen, and we see the entire country progress together as a result of the technology. So I would suggest, as we are all moving forward, to keep these three sutras in mind and let it guide the way we build the technology today. And in order for us to be successful as a scientific community and as a country building our own sovereign technology, investing in a scientific community that is being celebrated, appreciated, and being given the resources to be able to create a rich diversity of scientific researchers is an important aspect here for us to create an ecosystem where we can create long-term scientific breakthroughs with AI and outside of AI, as well as all of these science. As we enter into the architect phase of AI, where we're building for our own needs, our own languages, our own people, the responsibility sits with all of you, the young researchers, founders, and builders of AI in India, to prioritize ensuring that the AI we're building is inclusive at the language level, at the gender level, at the economic level, and at the literacy level. This is to ensure that what we're building can be used by everybody in the country, all the way from the data that we are gathering, from the models that we're creating, from the languages that we're serving. All of this needs to be done with a responsibility in mind that inclusivity is the most important part of this job that we're all doing today. Our mission at Navana.ai has always been to make digital services accessible to every Bharat user. And I hope that when we look back at this time of setting the foundation of Indian AI, that we're able to have unlocked the value for every Indian citizen by making every digital service accessible through voice in a way that makes every person feel confident and powerful in their abilities as we grow as a country. The next 10 years of the India journey is going to be a phenomenal one. The value and benefits that we're going to see from AI for the entire country is going to be incredible. The work that the Indian ecosystem is doing and the way we're progressing is making me optimistic and proud about India, our commitment to AI, and our abilities in AI. The future is looking exciting.